Ashley Madison, the leading dating website that helps married people have affairs, has shown people with certain careers are more likely to be unfaithful to their partners.
They know too much about you before they even meet you.
True.
I have access to all of your information.
True.
So yes, when I show up, you're damn sure. You know, it's not considered cheating. If it's in a different area code.
That's right. In the greater area, it is. We here at the Last and Nice Guys podcast do not condone any out-of-district cheating.
The human race is divided in two distinct sexes, male and female. While the typical man is a simple creature, there exists a subgroup, the nice guy, a dying breed of chivalrous, romantic, domesticated gentlemen whose qualities are desired by the opposite sex, allegedly. However, they are dismissed and confined in such concepts as the bestie, work husband, and the dreaded friend zone. Joe, Jason, and Manny are the last of the nice guys.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You're tuned into the buttery voices of Jason and Manny. And this is the Last of the Nice Guys podcast. I am Jason, and that handsome gentleman above me in the video is Manny. Did I mention that I'm Jason? And that we have smooth and buttery voices.
Hello.
Manny, greet the individuals. Greet our audience.
Hello, everybody.
Yes.
I'm going to do some ASMR type deal.
I know that's right. We're calling this the Quiet Storm.
All right, no longer quiet.
Yeah, no more quiet. So clearly you guys know this is going to be a joke of an episode. We're going to have fun. Last episode was a little heavy, and we decided to, plus we don't really feel like being existential or serious. I don't, at least. So today's topic is inspired by a BusinessInsider.com article, Insider. It's titled "The Top 12 Jobs Where You Are Most Likely to Cheat." This actually, I know we brought this up in another episode, and I promise.
Yeah, I felt like we talked about it.
We did talk about something like this, and I know it came up in a previous episode. I don't remember what it was, and I said this is going to be our next funny one, and so here you go. So you can't say we're not men of our word with smooth and buttery voices. All right, so smooth. So we're just gonna get right into it. All right, so I want to start reading the article a little bit. People cheat on their partners for different reasons. There are also varying levels of cheating, from micro cheating to full-blown affairs. Micro cheating, what is that? Like that's some millennium shit where, why did you hit like on her picture? That's called cheating. I'm sorry, I don't mean to. Yes, I do.
I don't mean to trigger anybody.
Suggests that the intelligent people are more likely to want to cheat on their partners. Oh, okay. New survey data from Ashley Madison, of course. Ashley Madison, you know what that is, right? That's a website where like women go on to find affairs. The leading dating website that helps Ashley Madison, the leading dating website that helps married people have affairs, has shown people with certain careers are more likely to be unfaithful to their partners. They've asked 1,074 members of Ashley Madison to fill out a survey about their jobs. That is a very small sample size. So take this with a grain of salt. Let's get into it. Number 12, men who do social work. 2% of male participants were social workers. How do you feel about that? Well, and it's funny because I think I would be a damn good social worker.
So here's the thing I think about social workers.
Here's the deal with social workers.
Here's the thing that grinds my gears about social workers. They know too much about you before they even meet you.
True.
I have access to all of your information.
True.
So yes, when I show up, you're damn sure.
Well, it's true because it's like it's not a place of power, but it's like you're a social. I don't want to say that people who seek social workers are vulnerable, but there is a vulnerability. Like therapists and psychiatrists. When you're open like that with somebody, and somebody allegedly cares and empathizes with you and shows you that kindness, you can get weak. Because they say for a broken woman, the kryptonite for a broken woman is like a kind guy because
Man that
he'll be able to.
listens.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I could see where social workers, but at the same time, because social work requires you to have a certain level of empathy, I can see you also like developing feelings for a hopeless case or somebody that you're trying to help. You know what I'm trying to say? Getting personally invested. It's I don't know how many men can get personally invested in a woman without having some kind of sexual or romantic desire, that kind of personal investment,
Well,
So
I hate
I know
falling
love,
into anything. So that's not gonna happen for me.
true that. Oh, look, it's gonna be okay. So it's for both men and women. So number 12, women,
Oh,
politics. Just 1% of female respondents work in politics. I don't know
I
about
can
this.
see that.
Okay, I can't. I mean, not that I can't. I just it didn't it. My mind isn't blown. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. I was like, huh? Why
No,
can you see that?
I can see that because that's that's a position of power,
But a
and
position of power.
there are a lot of women out there that
Uh-huh.
get off on having a position of power.
Correct. But having a position of power, meaning sleeping with men that are subordinates or sleeping upwards. Which way are you talking about? Uh-huh.
I'm talking about
Are we
um
talking about like the Monica Lewinsky thing, or are we talking about like you see what I'm saying? Like are we sleeping upwards? Are we sleeping down? Because if it's a power trip, then being domineering a man and saying I make more money than you and I'm your boss, but let's get it on. Or are we talking about women who like power are going to be seductive to men with power, be attracted to men with power, and that's in politics is where power is. What are you saying
not
exactly?
power about power, it's power and the ability to be above men because
Okay.
politics especially it's it's majority men. So you ever see that movie Horrible Bosses?
No,
It's hilarious.
I saw part of part two, and I didn't realize I was watching part two for a little bit, so I didn't get it. So no.
It's hilarious, right? And one of the bosses, Jennifer Anderson, she's a boss. She's the lead dentist or lead practitioner of the dentist office. And the entire time she's like hitting on one of the guys, what's his name?
Jason
Something
Bateman.
Day. No, it's not
Oh,
Jason
Charlie
Day.
Day. Charlie Day.
Charlie Day, yeah. She's
That's Jennifer
constantly hitting
Aniston's
on,
character.
yeah.
Yeah, I know a
So
little bit about it.
she keeps hitting on him or whatever. She to the point where she locks him in his office with an electronic lock to the door, and the button for it is underneath her desk, and she's like fully naked underneath her lab coat. It's the funniest shit, but I think
I,
a position of power for women
okay.
definitely I could see that happening.
Okay. Number 11, men, agriculture. 3% of male cheaters work in agriculture, such as farming. I
Something
don't.
about those sheep, bro. It's just like bah.
I get. I mean, I don't think. I don't. Maybe it's got to be milking the cows. I mean, you can only milk the cows so much before you're like, I need me a teat. So I guess I don't. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't get it. Why or how, who or with who? Unless the people that they're working on the farms with or whatever agriculture with are, when I think farming, I think families. So I should stop that. There are employees. So maybe I guess being hot and sweaty and grunting and I don't know. Maybe just because it's a job that requires a lot of teamwork and friction. I don't know. So I don't know. I don't get it though. I personally
You.
think that men will cheat anywhere because it doesn't matter what excuse you give them because that's just how we are. We're carnal, visual creatures. Anyway, number 11, which is I'm surprised how low on the list this is. Women, arts and entertainment. 4% of female cheaters were in the arts and entertainment industry, like movies and painting and stuff. I see that absolutely,
Definitely,
but
because you're constantly traveling.
right. So you want to get some strange D every once in a while. I'm just surprised it's
Well,
so
you
low
know,
on the list.
it's not considered cheating. If it's in a different area code.
That's
Duh,
right. That's right. That's right. In the
duh.
greater area, it is. We here at the Last of Nice podcast do not condone any out of district cheating. We're just being satirical, and that is why we're single.
I'm
Anyway,
not. Ludacris is my man. I got hoes in different area codes, son.
I got pros. I got pros. Different area codes. Area codes.
Codes.
Pros. Anyway, moving on. Number 10, men in arts and entertainment. Arts and entertainment had a 3% turnout for male cheaters too. Again, also surprisingly low. I want to be very clear. On this article for number 11 for arts and entertainment, they show Robert Pattinson and what's her face?
I don't even know, but she's a lesbian.
Yeah, the chick with the punchable face, right?
Yeah.
She, her, and then for men, it's Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie.
Oh, there it is. No, it doesn't say their name. Okay. Again, surprisingly low on the list. I would think these would be like upper, if not number one, because I mean, you're
Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart, yes. Because you would think that by design you have to get close to a co-worker or a co-star, and there's sex scenes and there's hot stuff. You're gonna catch feelings. I mean, shoot, we catch feelings if we're garbage men. Like it's gonna happen. So I'm surprised it's so low on the list, or maybe because it's only a small sample size, and I don't think Hollywood actors are on Ashley Madison. That's probably why it's so low on the list. Ashley Madison, send us free stuff. Number 10, women in legal. 4% of female cheaters were in the legal profession. I would assume that that's the same thing as what you were saying with politics, is because it's a powerful position.
It's a powerful position. Can you imagine sleeping with a woman and she comes out with a long drawn out, like, a packet of paperwork and be like, since we've just committed this act, you must sign your life over here, here, and here. If not, such and such and such, because legal statutes
agreement.
of
Absolutely.
blah 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 blah.
Well, Article 5, Statute 6, Article 9, you must sign this non-disclosure agreement, or else you're in breach of contract, and your penis organ is forfeit. No, let me see now. Number 9 for men, education. 4% of male 4% of male cheaters were in education, professors, teachers, and lecturers. Again, surprisingly low. And this is where I get the power trip, because when you have a power of authority, but not just authority, intelligence, and you are able to, usually you have the gift of gab when you're a professor. You're able to talk and speak, and you can mesmerize with words. And of course, you've got all these students, and I'm sorry, law of averages, you're going to get a student or two per year that want a piece of that. And law of averages is you're eventually going to, not eventually, I shouldn't say that, but you are going to be tempted. Some of them going to be stronger than others. Like, that's why, I don't know why any man would ever want to be a high school teacher or a college professor. You are asking for trouble. You're asking for it, because not only are you older and you're smarter, but you control their scholastic destiny. That's their financial future. Come on. Come on.
Back in my day, there was a couple of male teachers that I wanted to sleep with too. Like, I get it.
Yeah. I'm moving on. Number 9, trades. Women in trades like building and plumbing made up 4% of cheaters. I didn't know there were women in trades. Let me stop. Sorry. Don't cancel me. Don't cancel me.
Now, I get it, because, plumber's crack was a thing. So yeah. I get, like, women bending over to do some plumbing work and her crack comes out. Yeah. I mean, stuff's going to happen. I get it.
I mean, I don't see, I mean, I guess we're thinking about cheating while you're like on the job. I guess you meet somebody, you connect with them in a certain way. Ooh, you're really handy. Ooh, I got something that you can handle. I guess that makes sense. But I wouldn't have guessed that at all. Trades. Number 8, men in the legal field. 4% they work in law too. I wonder why this is higher than women.
Because men do it more.
men get caught more. Let's be reasonable. I guess I could see it because you're a lawyer and there's a prestige there. There is. That's why I am still going to go to law school just so I can say I did that. But okay, all right, moving on. Number 8, marketing and communications. Women in marketing and communication made up 4% of female cheaters. That I would have never guessed.
Marketing? I mean, I don't see that either.
Me either. I don't see the sex appeal, especially since that's higher than entertainment. How is marketing and communications higher
Well,
than?
I can actually, now that I can think about it, they are professional salespeople.
Okay.
If you think about it, so their job is to create
Oh.
some sort of marketing format to betterment of the business. So
To
if they're
create demand.
utilizing,
Yes.
so if they're utilizing that,
Yes.
to
Yes.
get some,
Yes.
it makes sense.
Yes.
Yep.
But then I would say not marketing, communication, marketing and sales. See what I'm saying? Marketing is promoting a product. Communication is, I guess, communicating that product. If it was sales, marketing and sales, absolutely. But communications, I don't know. You're talking more about the sales aspect of it. That's part of marketing, but it's not the sum total of marketing. Marketing in itself, and I'm actually taking intro to marketing, so I know what I'm talking about a little bit. Marketing is how you present the product and create a need and a demand through the assets you use. Sales when you go out there and promote it. So I don't know. I think I still don't get it for that. Number 7, which is quite low on the list too. Men in the medical professions, such as doctors and nurses, made up 5% of male cheaters. Absolutely. Absolutely. Why not? I mean, that's why.
You want me to save your life?
Yeah, exactly. You want to play doctor? Shoot, I had a coworker who was doing anatomy, and I said, you can use my body all you want to study these different parts. That was just great. Then I got fired. No, I didn't. So so no, I can see this because why do you think in all these medical shows there is a trope of doctors sleeping with doctors, nurses sleeping with nurses? It's long hours. That's not the only thing that gets long during those hours. So I can see it. It's a trope. And they say that most tropes, most cliches are rooted in some kind of truth. So that makes sense to me. This is another one. Number 7, women, IT. Yeah, 8% of female cheaters worked in IT. What's sexy about code? I just want to be real.
Well, you know what? I think so.
There is no way. I want to hear how you justify this.
You have to understand, okay? It's an intelligent thing. It's an intellectual thing. So, women that tend to exhibit intelligence, just like men, tend to be a little bit more attractive. Now, when it comes to
women are not that cerebral. I'm sorry.
No, they're not. But we're not going to go there. But how many women are in the IT world? There's you barely ever see any of them.
Right.
But the other thing is
so is this like the gamer girl kind of thing where like once men hear that a girl is on a game, they're all like trying to holler at her because oh my god, it's a gamer girl. That's so rare. So you think it's kind of the same thing?
She's good with her fingers.
She's good with the joysticks. I want her to do my joystick.
Yeah.
So you think that's what it is? You think that the women are sought after that are in IT because it's such a rare commodity, and that guys are like, oh my god, she's an IT girl. It's someone I can connect with. Let me holler at that. Is that what you're kind of thinking?
Yeah, to a point. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then saying it like that, I understand. Here we go. Number 6, men, marketing and communications. 6% of male cheaters work in marketing and communications. I don't get it. I guess communications because you have to be smooth, I guess.
Yeah, because you have to be smooth and you have to pretend like you know what you're doing.
Right, but it's not.
So you're exhibiting.
Really like, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get the marketing communications part again because I'm studying business management and marketing, and I don't see anything sexy about it. It's actually so it's significantly boring. I hate marketing in general, which is why you guys are probably not even listening to this podcast because I didn't market it well. So like I don't get it. There's nothing sexy about it to me. This makes sense. Number 6 for women. Wait. Yes, number 6 for women, retail and hospitality. 9% of female cheaters work in retail and hospitality, such as in shops and hotel industries. Of course.
I get the hotel industry, but shops?
Retail. Because what okay, we think
I
retail.
worked in retail. There was
Cor-
nothing sexy about it. I
Hold
hated
on,
my
hold
life.
on, hold on. Some retails, most retails, from my understanding, you get commission on sales, correct? Or if you don't get commission on sales, they ask you at the register, did somebody help you? And that 5-star, that assistant helps with their bottom line or their review. There is a quantifiable I forgot the word I wanted to use. I dropped it. It's quantifiable, positive something that is directly related to the way you interact. And the best way to interact is to be a little flirtatious, let them like you like that. And sometimes it goes a little too far. Absolutely. I can absolutely see it because you want tips, you want the commission, you want the 5-star review, you want them to be like, yes, they helped me. So it goes on, so you get a little gold star so you can make sure you get your whatever bonus at the end or your merit increase. Absolutely retail and absolutely hospitality. Because hospitality is all about
Hospitality, yes.
yes.
Hospitality, yes. I don't know about retail and the hotel industry, yes. But
No.
hospitality, because I bartended before and I used to have to kiss some ass and
Exactly.
kiss some rings or whatever to get a good tip. So I get
Exactly.
it.
But it's the same concept. If you don't understand that in bartending, you understand that in retail. You need to make sure, because I need at the end of the month to say that I helped 20 customers. That's my quota. So, hey, wait, can I help you? Help you? Okay, remember Jason helped you, Jason. Because at the end of the day, Jason, did you help 20 people? Because that, and led it to a sale. If not, you get a womp womp. So I'm telling you, I know this because I know people that were in retail, and it can be lucrative if you like chasing the coin like that, and the inconsistency of it all. All right, number 5, finance. 8% of cheaters work in finance, and the reason why,
Men.
men, sorry, 5 men. That's what I said. Finance men, five men. Blah. The reason why I can see that is because, and I'm being very stereotypical. Whenever I think of finance, I think of drunks, people drunks and coke addicts, because to deal with the financial market, you have to be on some kind of crazy tip or on some kind of drug, because it sounds like it's fun, but it sounds like it is the single most stressful thing, and it'll age you fast. And if there's any job that you would have to drink to come home to feel better, or to shake it off, it would be finance. And of course, with all these different things, of course, promiscuity is ripe in there, especially since and since you're throwing on the dime too. Yeah, I can see it. I can see me going into the bullpen or whatever finance. We're crunching these numbers. Oh my God, we had a net loss. I'm gonna get chewed out. Let me go home or let me go out with the boys and let's go get wasted at a freaking strip club, because we know we can get wrecked. Or we made the earnings. We're gonna have a great time. We got a bonus. Let's make it rain, bitch. Like either way, I could see it. It's ripe for substance abuse. And I know it's stereotypical, and I don't mean to be that way, but that's what I feel when I hear finance. I think substance abuse. Period. Just literally. How do you feel?
I mean, it makes sense. It's also it's money. So,
Money makes you cheap.
women.
Is that what you're trying to say?
The more money you have, it's like, hey, you still want me to pay this? You still,
More money, more cheetahs.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. More,
More money, more
more money you
cheetahs.
throw away. It's like, oh my God, yay!
Oh my God, spread it. Number 5 for women, social work. And that I agree. Absolutely. Number 5, absolutely. Social work had women cheaters too, with it being the career choice of 9% of female respondents. Of course, same reason why I said for men, but women are more predisposed to what? Emotional connection. And it is hard to separate the emotional connection from your profession. Actually, it's encouraged to be more invested. But for women, because they are more emotional creatures, they will get attached and develop feelings way more than men. Men may develop a kind of a lust kind of thing before feelings, but women, that's why I think the majority is it like I gotta look up the thing, how many social workers are women versus men, because that's clearly one of those things, because you have to be empathetic, and women are more, I believe, genetically predisposed to be empathetic because they bear children. What do you think?
I mean, I agree. Only because think there is a far more higher number for social women in social work than there are men because of the empathy or whatever. And then, of course, women
You
think
know,
emotionally.
they empathize in some shit, so I can see it.
Well, no, they think emotionally, so it's just like,
Right. It's a
oh my
natural.
god,
It's a natural
like
progression. First of
like
all,
my case study today. Oh my god, he's going through so much
he
stuff.
goes so
Like,
much, but
oh,
he's
I feel like,
so cute.
yeah, but he's so amazing. And then I
I just
talked
want
to
he
him,
just like it's like his wife
and
doesn't deserve him.
of course, he doesn't sound like a killer. Why would that chick think that? Oh my god, like I should take him out,
Yeah.
and do my own thing. But I can't see him anymore. What do I do?
Because it's kind of like it's a good thing. Like that's why I find it interesting that they made Harley Quinn was a psychologist, or even a social worker. I don't know whatever she was, and how she fell for Joker was during her sessions.
Mhm.
She identified, he poked it and he got her. And I find it really funny that that's her backstory. She could have just been anybody, but they made her a doctor of psychology or psychiatry or whatever it was, and got her to be twisted. They say sometimes when you look in the void stares back. So
Mhm.
I find it interesting, but definitely agree. Number 4, men, retail, and hospitality. I get it, but I don't think it belongs so high on the list because I don't think men have the opportunity to cheat as easily as women do in retail and hospitality. I don't think so at all. Sure, we have to be just as charming, but come on. Women aren't as receptive as men are in the reverse. You know what I'm saying? If a
Yeah.
waitress gave you a wink, oh yeah, you're all about that. If a female waitress gave a man a wink, if a male waitress gave a female a wink, that is like a toying cost. She can either think it's charming or she can be very upset. That's
Mhm.
why in my old job, that I used to have a lot of customer service. It was part of my job to speak to a lot of women, especially those who were pregnant, thought they were pregnant or whatever, and some that just weren't. And that was a good chunk of my job. And yeah, sometimes I feel like there's a vibe between me and one of them or something, or their guest that came with them, and people are like, Jay, why don't you try and like holler? I'm like, absolutely fucking not. I said, because I'm at work, and because all I have to do is hit on the wrong one, and I lose my job forever for what? It's not worth it. So that's why I think that men in I don't believe this belongs so high for men because the chances of success so small, and the risk is not worth the reward. It says here it's waiters, bartenders, baristas, and hotel workers. I don't think any of them, unless they're cheating with each other, like not men, but well, maybe men, but with each other, like the staff. Unless the staff are cheating with each other, you know what I'm trying to say? Maybe they commiserate on being like treated like shit from managers or from hotel guests, but definitely not customers. Definitely not. What do you think?
Well, as I mentioned before, as somebody who is in
As a
hospitality,
father of daughters.
as a former bartender myself,
Before I had
yeah,
daughters.
it's yeah, it was before I had daughters. But it is a lot
Wait,
more.
was this the place where you walked out when you just remember you told me the story? You just walked out and they called you back saying, "Listen, we're so sorry. Please come back." You're like, "I'm out."
That was another day. Yeah,
That was that was
Yeah, that was.
man. That was one of the best stories. Did you tell that on the podcast? Or you just told it to me in confidence. I don't
I
know.
think I don't remember,
I don't
but yeah,
know. But that was
yeah,
a
that
great
was.
story. Great story. Anyway,
But yeah,
sorry.
that was I forgot where I was going with this. But yeah, I understand because
No dead air.
that. No, I know. I'm going over it in my head. Like I don't, as a
You
former
as a
person that worked in retail and in hospitality,
Mhm,
retail sucks. That's number one. That's
mhm.
very stressful as it is. Hospitality, the
Sucks.
constant, you have to find a good spot, I guess. But I get, it's so much easier for women to do it though.
That's what I'm
You know,
saying. That's why I don't
yeah,
understand
it's
why
so
men
much
is so high on
easier
the list.
because I'm a pretty damn good bartender, or I used to be. I haven't picked up anything in a while, but you
On
don't really
on the
need.
Oculus, there's a VR bartender. I can let you borrow it so you can get your skills back.
Oh god, here we go. You don't necessarily have to have skill to be a bartender, especially here. Like you don't have to go to schooling or anything like that. You can pick up as you go. That's how I learned. And
You don't have to
the
get
thing,
your bartending license or whatever it's called.
no,
Mixology, whatever no.
mm-mm,
So you can just be hired as a bartender and that's it.
mm-hmm. You have to have some sort of experience, or they'll start you off as a waitress for a female, or they'll
Right.
are bar back as a guy, and then
Okay.
you learn from the bartenders there, or you
Oh,
watch how things
and then you
go,
transition. What I'm saying, if you need
and then you
experience,
transition over.
if you need
Yeah,
experience, but you need to go to school for it, then how do you gain
no,
experience? Like that doesn't make any sense.
on job
Okay.
training. That's how I got it. I started off as a bar back, and then like 6 months after that, they're like, "Hey, you want to bartend?" I was like, "Sure."
Yeah, no,
And then I
I get
started
it. I know you
bartending
like
and
your
did
beer
it.
back.
Hey, listen, I like it raw.
That's right.
But
Brokeback
it's
Mountain.
just it's so much easier for women to flirt and cheat because men are a lot more receptive, as you said, to it. Women are
Exactly.
just they're
Exactly.
like,
This is wrong. Okay, Ashley Madison, you're wrong.
yeah.
I still want free
I think it
stuff,
needs to flip.
but
I
I think
think
you
it
need to
needs to
flip
flip.
that. I think you need
Yeah.
to flip it. Let's move it on. Number four. Huh? Number four, women in finance. Women financiers made up 9% of female cheaters. How? Why? I mean, yeah, women have money, but or they have access to money, but I don't. I would, I would think that they would be more like picky about maybe that. Maybe they're. This is throwing me off. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't see unless you talk about women are also getting coked up and drinking and going out there making it rain on dudes. No, that doesn't make any sense. I don't make this make sense for me, Manny.
Power. That's all I can say.
Okay, explain. What is the power? Identify the power of the finance, and then how does that translate into the real world and sexual
So
relations?
women with a ton of money that do very well
Uh-huh.
financially, they exhibit like they don't need men, so you're just here to do my
So you
bidding.
think that that women get boy toys? I don't think so. We just had the episode last week where it said that women want the top 1%ers. So if you're already in that top percent, you would only want somebody on your level and above. I mean, most women don't can't date a man that makes less than them. They made it very clear. We've had that discussion. So you're thinking that these women are willing to have boy toys. I don't know, bro. I don't think so because I would think that a boy toy would be beneath them. You're not on my level, you know, at all.
That's the whole purpose.
Yeah. I don't know.
Hmm.
You have a really esoteric or I should say that a nihilistic view of women. Then
Not all women. Listen, I'm not going to say all women, but there is a percentage out there
yeah,
that get
that
off
get
on
off
that. They get
on
off being or feeling. I shouldn't say being, but feeling
feeling
that they
superior.
are. Yeah, they feel superior over men.
Well, it's like
That's what it is.
it's like a dominatrix, but more of like a psychological or mental dominatrix. Then okay, all right, I get it.
So number three,
Sorry,
men and women. Actually, this is for both.
number three.
Entrepreneurs.
Okay, entrepreneurs.
I'm my own boss.
Being an entrepreneur was the third most popular career choice for both males and female cheaters. One reason for this could be because entrepreneur people like things their own way and on their own terms, and so are likely to take charge of their sex life the way they do their business, the survey suggested. But how does that liking sex and sexual life your way translate into being a cheater?
Because you, as an entrepreneur, you pretty much work your own hours and you do your own shit. So you don't really have to abide by a constant 9 to 5 and all that stress that comes with it. So you're pretty much just on your own doing your own shit.
I
So it
guess
makes sense.
I don't get it. I don't see it. I think an entrepreneur, honestly, if anything, they're probably maybe they lead more to divorces and stuff, not because of cheating, but because you're an entrepreneur, you got to be on top of. You're working for yourself, and you may be setting your own hours, but you're pretty much always working. You're always on the clock, even while you're sleeping. So I would see it more for like divorces or poor relationships or poor people to, or not people you want to date per se because of that. But I don't see how it's like when do you have time to cheat? While you're trying to run your business. That's
That's
what
what
I'm
I'm saying. You work your own hours, so you make the time.
correct. You make the time, but every time you spend cheating, you're losing coin, probably potentially. You know what I'm saying?
If you're doing well, you can
If you're
afford to
doing well,
lose.
most
Yeah.
entrepreneurs don't aren't doing well like
No, they're
that
not doing well at all.
at
No, of
all.
course not.
Especially when I just did my class. I'm sorry, guys. This is gonna be the thing. I did my class and they explained LLCs and S corps and C corps, and I'm like, fuck, the government fucks you with money. Like I mean, the taxes are oh my god. Like I wanted to start a food truck. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that shit anymore because what? I got to choose this or that or this option and watch for this and this liability and this tax. It's rough. So thinking about all of that as an entrepreneur, I mean, I might as well just like retire my dick. I would never have any time to even think about the poussey because I'm trying to get that coin because Uncle Sam is trying to take it from me. And the more coin you make is the more they take from you, but you want a bottom line. So, or a net profit, or you want residuals. So I don't know. Fuck me. Number 2, IT men. What? Men in IT made up 12% of male cheaters. Okay. All right. We need to have them define what cheating is. Now, are they talking about that whole, if you watch pornography, you're cheating on me? Is that what they're talking about? I'm sorry to stereotype IT people. It's like that. That's what I'm talking about. But for it to be so high on the list, I don't understand where you get randy around wires and modems and connections and routers. I don't get it for men to be this high or to even be on the list. So I'm wondering if cheating is beyond just because this is technology. And in the new millennium, technology, cheating can be considered liking a post, slipping into a DM or you have a DM slipped on you, sharing something, following somebody, watching something, pornography, a webcam. I mean, it ramps up. Is this what we're lumping in together with cheating? That's the only way to explain why number 2 is IT for men. I'm sorry, IT guys. I'm kind of in IT. I'm in, asset acquisition. So I get it. I work with computers, but there's nothing about that I can find that can make sense to me. Manny, make this make sense.
I think it has something to do with the current age that we're in right now, how everything is just ran by technology, that you have these men that can fix it. And you have a lot of these women that do a lot of their stuff with computers and cameras and such and such and such. And it's like, it's good to have that little IT guy in my pocket, whenever he wants to come over and, fix my laptop, and I'll cook him a little something special.
I'll make it very clear. At my old job, I was like the resident IT guy. I did, kind of like how you were. I did things beyond the scope. I call it limited IT work, stuff that I know I could do. And the only thing I really couldn't do is whatever administrative access I needed. So they never really called the IT department. And I worked there for 18 years. All 18 years for the most part, because I had an affinity toward computers and the hardware. I didn't get any tail from that at all. Never once did that. And I ran through different managers. I mean, by ran through, I mean they came and they went. That too. Different, coworkers. I never saw somebody saying, "Wow, Jay, you're so good with computers," and drop their panties for me. So I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. But I see where you're coming from. But then maybe I just suck at life. So yeah, just saying. Number 2 for women, education. Women teachers were the second most common cheaters, making up 12% of female respondents.
Hell yeah.
I see it because, again, same thing. Boys, okay, they are, men and boys, that's that right there. And eventually, like I said, law of averages, you're gonna get hit on by one of these students who's gonna hit the right spot. Also, I think teaching is more so dominated by women, right? There's more women teachers than male teachers, right? Is that would you say that's right?
Yeah, I would say that's accurate.
So because that's true, whenever a male teacher comes in, they bring that. For instance, I was no more manlier than when I was at work at my old job because I was like one men most of the times. So there's the testosterone right there. They like it, what I'm saying? So I could see women, men becoming work husbands for these women, and then it goes beyond that, for the male teachers. So I could see it because, you throw a man or two in a faculty staff of like 30 women, you spend a lot of time together. And no matter, it's funny, unless you're like absolutely hideous or absolutely against it, something like that, or absolutely somebody's opposite type, everybody gets that gaze where eventually somebody that you weren't originally attracted to becomes like the hottest person in the world. It happens to everybody. It just does, especially if you get to know them, because personality also can make you look ugly or make you look better. So I think it makes sense. What do you think?
I agree. I mean, the hold on. I'm trying to use my mouse and it's not even connected like a dummy. Um Listen, here's the thing about women
Here's
teachers.
the thing. Here's what?
Number one,
Number
number
one.
one, number one. They already have that motherly because they're women, right? They have that motherly tone to them.
Okay.
And a lot of these young boys are drawn to that. On top of that, there are a lot of women that jump into the education system that are highly attractive, which is very strange. Because you think of teachers of like, old grandma that's like, whatever. Okay, little kitty, I'll get you whatever.
I haven't thought
But
of a
then
teacher like that in forever.
listen, again, as an ex-student of, schooling, I
As a,
used to want to
as
jump on
as
top
a
of a lot of my teachers back in the day too. I
oh,
didn't procrastinate. I was, hey, let
god
me
damn.
stop. Listen, I was a very horny boy. So anyway,
Clearly, we all know that.
but yeah, there's very that motherly thing. Young boys are drawn to that because they obviously haven't grown up yet, and the only women that they know in their lives are their mothers. So they don't know any better until they realize I
You know
don't
what?
want
You're
my
right. The
mommy.
first crushes probably could be teachers
Mhm.
because really the first women that is, or it's opposite sex, but whatever. But yeah, I can see that because that's the first non-maternal, non-familial like connection you make, and it could be mistaken for feelings and sexual.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Look at that. I told you I can be a counselor. That makes sense. That makes sense.
I made it
Okay.
made sense to you. You're welcome.
Yeah, it clicked. See, this is why I throw it to Manny to make it make sense to me. Number one for men, trades.
This is where I shine right here.
What trades?
Yeah.
Men who worked in trades took the top spot for cheating. They make up 29% of male respondents. Jobs in trades often mean irregular hours and are often
Hmm.
structured in shifts. Shift work, meaning it's easier for men to fly under the radar when it comes to sneaking around with an all affair partner, says the director of communications for Ashley Madison, Isabella Mice. So okay, this is all you since you're all about this. You're nodding like he's like finally talk about me.
My time to shine. No. The thing about trade work, all right, is again you're supposed to have a set amount of hours during the day to work, but it
Uh-huh.
doesn't. You don't always have work, so there's a lot of downtime.
Right.
There's a lot of, or there can I should say there can be a lot of downtime where you don't have anything to do, and most of the time people just slip into people's DMs and sometimes slip in the sheets. But it's a situation that happens. I'm not saying that I deal with it because that's not something that I do. um but as an individual that works in the trade industry, I understand it 100% completely. It's very easy.
Okay. So the ability there is there. The access, the time, the fertile time is there, but the access to the ability to cheat. Can you speak upon that? Where is that accessible? Because you can have all the time in the
Very
world, be bored all
easy.
you want, but for a man, tell me how accessible is it to find somebody to get it on with that's not your partner?
Very easy. You understand you're going into strangers' homes
Okay,
to
okay,
perform work, to
okay.
do stuff, and then sometimes you get the here's my number. You're gonna come back. I'm gonna call you later, baby girl.
Okay, you're right.
It,
You're right.
yeah,
You're right.
it's there. And then you're driving in a work truck or something that you don't have to pay for the gas in some form of way.
Right.
So who cares if you're making a returning trip? You're not paying for it.
You're right. You're right. You're right. And all the evidence is in that work vehicle. And okay.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I
It's
went
there,
wrong in
man.
life. Should have went for a trade. All right. Number one, women medical. The number one spot for women, which I don't get, it should be entertainment. Number one spot for women was taken by the medical profession. 23% of women were doctors or nurses. A combination of long hours and potential stress mixed with a natural reaction to stress just might be the reason these women in medical profession seek out an affair. I disagree, but okay. I don't think stress and as a natural reaction to I don't think stress, let me find some strange dick. I just don't, that doesn't work
Mhm.
for me. I don't see that,
I
especially
think
since Maybe
I think the
for men,
constant. I think the constant. I know where to put your bone, or how to fix your bone, or
yeah,
blah blah blah, something with the bone.
or
I think that
sharing,
just clicks in.
because I think medical staff, when you go like to like those shifts, the overnight shifts and whatever, you're sharing quarters, you're sharing lockers, you're in close proximity, you're talking, and there's such a thing called trauma bonding. You heard about that, where you bond over a trauma. So let's
Yep.
say somebody codes and you trauma together, and all of a sudden you're making out, and then you make love. That's what it is. So I see that more than you're blaming it on stress. I was so stressed out, babe, so I jumped on some dick. What? I doesn't. I
Yeah, I had
don't.
this. I had this
That doesn't work for
horrible
me.
operation. It just went so wrong. The person died, and I just felt like I needed to connect with a
I
stranger.
needed to connect. I needed to connect. So I don't know. I don't get it. I don't
I had
get
to
it.
bury
And I
this
still
bone.
don't think I agree with medical. Trust me, I've been in medical for 18 years. I can see it. I know it. But I don't think it would have been number one. I think their sample size was too small. They needed a larger sample size. I think that it should have been number one, should have been arts and entertainment for women. And for men, number one trades, I'll take it. What do you think was supposed to be for number one for women and number one for men? Before we wrap this up.
I think number one for women should have been retail and hospitality, because if you think about it, what is another form of hospitality that was not listed on here? Strippers.
Well, I mean, okay. Yes. I mean,
Right? And that's why
I would throw that into entertainment. I would throw that into entertainment, honestly.
well, that's also strippers.
You see what I'm saying? So I would throw that into entertainment, not hospitality more so. I mean, there's a service there. Sex in the champagne room, but
service
I consider that
and a smile.
and a smile. And a moist smile. So yeah, well, this was fun. I love these articles. I think we're gonna do another one next time too. I just gotta find another one. So that's the top 10 jobs where you're most likely to cheat for both men and women. This article comes from businessinsider.com. You'll see the link below in the show notes and the description, both on YouTube and on the show notes of the podcast audio, wherever you're listening to us. So that's about it. Thanks for tuning in to The Last of the Nice Guys for these smooth and buttery voices. I'm Jason. That's Manny. I don't know if did you want to say? Right.
Hello. Was it me you're looking for?
Oh, that's more menacing than sensual, but okay, carry on.
I can feel it in your eyes.
I know that's giving me shivers too. I don't know. But and you want to hear the scariest thing? Hey, let me stop. So all right. So that's it. That's the Last of the Nice Guys podcast. And thank you for your time.
The Last of the Nice Guys. Follow, like, and subscribe on Twitter and Instagram at Last Nice Guys, Facebook.com/Last Nice Guys, or email lastoftheniceguys@yahoo.com.